Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Robert Wohlfahrt and welcome to this video, to another video of the series Random Linux Tools Explained. This is all about Linux command line tools and I want to explain such tools to you. And to make it a little bit more interesting for you, I have added a small challenge for me. And the challenge is that I don't know beforehand what tools to explain. Instead, a command line tool itself, a script, prints out from a bunch of command line tools a single tool. And then I have to explain this tool to you, give you some tips, how to use it, command line options for this tool, when to use it, and so on. Yeah. First, let's check if everything goes well. My picture is streamed. I'm streaming currently live to Facebook and YouTube. Everything looks okay. So let me know in the comments if anything doesn't work. If you can't hear me or something like that. But let's start directly with my screen share. Yeah, so my screen share a little bit bigger for you. And here we are. I have prepared a list of tools for you. We have here 121 tools. Every tool here is really useful for your day-to-day work at a Linux command line. Within this file, these tools are sorted. They are still sorted. And now I have a script, and the script choose tools, prints out or will print out exactly one single tool I want to explain to you. Okay, so let's start. Let's run this script choose tool.sh. Okay, mixing the tools. And the winner is cat, okay? A really tiny, small, simple tool, but a really powerful tool. It's a great tool to explain. Perhaps you have seen or you have used the cat command before, and I bet I will show you some things you haven't know about this tool. Sorry. Okay, so let's take the cat command. The cat command is a command that reads its input data stream and prints out this data stream to the output data stream. So in the most simple way, if you want to start cat, yeah, simply run cat without any parameters, and then the cat command will read in the input data stream. What's the input data stream? The input data stream is bound to my keyboard. Everything I type in here is sent to the input data stream of the cat command, and the cat command reads this in. The cat command reads in the data stream line-wise, and if I hit enter, it has read in a line, then cat simply prints out this line. Okay, so this is the most simplistic behavior of the cat command. Yeah, read in data from the input data stream and print this data out to the output data stream so that we can see it on the terminal. Okay, let's terminate the command, the cat command, by hitting Ctrl+C. And typically you won't use the cat command in this way. Typically you will give to the cat command a file that the cat command should use for the input data stream instead of the terminal. Yeah. So let's take, for instance, the file etc passvd. Yeah, this is the file where all the local defined users are defined or are stored on the system. Yeah. And now the cat command won't read from standard input, from the input data stream, from my keyboard. Instead, it would read from the file etc passwd, and it prints out these lines. Yeah. So using the cat command is the most simple way to print out the content of a file to the console. Yeah, if you want to, you can print out every file you see. It works at best if this is a text-based file, UTF-8, Unicode, ASCII, something like this. But it will work also with binary files. Yeah. So let's take, for instance, binary file bin ls, for instance. This is a binary file, and now the cat command will print out byte-wise every byte it sees within bin ls to my terminal, and I will see some rubbish, yeah, some wired characters on my screen. Okay, so if I hit Control C to break this, to terminate this, yeah, I have to wait some time because the cat command runs much faster than my terminal can print out the data. Yeah, so typically you will use the cat command for printing out text-based data, but you can use cat also for printing out binary data. For instance, print it out to a different file. Yeah, what I have done now is I just print out everything within bin ls, and then I redirect the output data stream to a new file called list. And at the end of this command line, I have a one-to-one byte-wise copy of the ls command. Yeah, so I have bin ls, and I have at the same time a file list, and both files have the same size. Both files have the same MD5 checksum. Both files have the same content. Yeah, so I can use cat, for instance, to copy a file. It would be much easier, yeah, to use the copy command instead. Yeah, to use copy bin ls to list, but there are circumstances where the copy command won't work. For instance, if you have a look at the device file for a disk, for instance, Dave SDA is the first disk of my Linux system. Now let's have a look. lsblk. What are the disks here? Okay, so I have a file name. I have a device file called Dave NVMe 0 and 1, and this file is a device file, a block device file, and this file let me access the binary content of my first disk on the system. I can access directly the binary content without using the file system at all. Yeah, without using directories and so on. And I could, if I would have the permission to do this, I could simply print out with the cat command this file and redirect this to tmp disk.eng. Yeah, this shall illustrate that you can, if you want to, use the cat command to create an image, of a disk. And it won't work here. It won't work here because TMP is on the disk itself. And the data from the whole disk won't fit onto the disk itself. But I think you've got a point. Yeah, you can use the cat command for binary data too if you need to transfer data from some point that's a file to some other point. Yeah, so okay, this is what the cat command can do with reading in data and printing out data somewhere else. Yeah, and then is there a useful feature of the cat command. The cat command can mark special characters in the data stream. The cat command can mark special characters. For instance, let's have a look at an example. Let's have a look at a file etc profile. Let's take the file etc profile. etc profile is a file that is executed as a script every time a user opens a login shell. Yeah? And then this prepares the environment, sets variables, and so on. And let's have a look into this file. And now let's say we wanna process the content of this file later on. Yeah? And for this we have to know if these spaces in front of for, in front of if these are spaces or tabs, for instance. So to get this information, I can use the cat command. I can use the cat command to print out tabs, to mark tabs within the output data stream. Let's try this out. Yeah, let's call cat-uppercase T etc profile, and I know if I'm not seeing any special markers here, that there are no tabs used. Let's have an example. Let's create an example with tabs. Test.txt. Let's create an example. Let's create a line where the second word is intended with spaces. Hello world. And now a second line where the second word is intended with tabs. Yeah. So if I print out this file to the console, to the terminal via cat, I don't see any real differences between these two lines. Yeah. But if I use cat-uppercase T, then cat marks all the tabs within the output. Yeah, so I see the first line doesn't use any tabs, but the second line does. So I have hello, a tab, another tab, a second tab, and then the word world. Yeah. Okay, so this is one special character that can be marked by cat. Another interesting character would be the end of the line. Cat etc profile again, perhaps. And now I want to see if there are some spaces at the end of every line. Are there some spaces? Or this is an empty line here between the fi and the new if statement. There is an empty line. Are there some spaces within this line? Yeah. Let's have a look. With the cat command, let's the cat command mark spaces. Oh no, let's mark the cat command the end of the line with -uppercase E. Yeah, and the marker for the end of the line is the $sign, and so we see every line ends with the last real character. We don't have any spaces at the end of the lines, and this is really an empty line, so the line end is direct after the start of the line. Yeah, and then there are some other special characters that can be marked by the cat command, and the way I use the cat command typically to checking if there is something special within this file, I use the command line switch -uppercase A for all. Then cat marks the line ends, cat marks the tabs, and cat marks any special non-printing characters. Yeah, cat-a etc profile. Yeah, this can be really useful if you have, for instance, data. If you have data from a command, Yeah, I have a command line df-h, please print out, df-h, please print out all my mounted disks and how they are used. Yeah, and I want to write a script, for instance, or I want to reuse these data here. So I need to know if here are some tabs in between these columns or not. And I can see it really simple, yeah, by prepending a pipe sign, a vertical bar after the command line, and feed in this way the output of the df command to the input of the cat command. And now I say to the cat command, please mark any special character, mark tabs, mark line ends, and mark non-printable characters. And I see with an output there are no special characters within the output of the df-h command. Yeah, so these are really spaces, and I have no non-printable characters within the output, and I don't have any spaces appended to the lines the df command prints out. Yeah, so this is the really useful use case for the cat command, not just to print out some data, but also to analyze the data and print out or mark some special characters. One use case, if you are working typically on a Windows system and you copy data from a Windows system to a Linux system, then you may have seen the problems with the line breaks within a file. Yeah. On a Linux-based or Unix-based system, a line break within a file consists only of one single character, the line break character. On a Windows system, you have the line break character, and you have an additional character, the carriage return. Yeah, and if you use the cat command to print out such a file, yeah, let's say I have the file tools.txt copied over from a Windows system, for instance, yeah, then cat would print out this file, and you won't see if there are some special characters, some additional characters with every line break. Yeah, but if you call a cat command with -a or -e to only show the line breaks, the line ends, no, we need to show the special characters. So let's call cat with -a, uppercase A. You would see that you have here the line end, the line break, and after that you would see a marker for a special character that is the carriage return. I think it's called like this. Yeah. So you would see at a glance if you need to remove some special characters, if you need to substitute the Windows line breaks with a Unix Linux line break. Yeah. Okay. So that's the real cool purpose of the cat command, to mark such special characters. One thing left, the cat command prints out a file from start to the end. So cat tools.txt prints out from the first line to the last line. If you want to print out a file from the last line to the first one, you want to reverse the file, you can just reverse the command. Yeah. Some developer was a little bit, or felt a little bit funny, I think. Just write the cat command backward. Yeah. Just don't write cat, but tag. Yeah. This is a different command, works like cat, but prints out first the last line and then every line back until the first line. Yeah. So this is the other way around. We have reversed the lines of this file. The tag command won't be used as often for single files, but for data streams. Yeah. Let's have a look at the data stream. Let's have a look at the data stream. The ls command gives me a data stream. Let's say I list the etc directory. I want to see a detailed list of the etc directory, and I don't want to see the etc directory sorted by name, but I want to see the etc directory sorted by size. Yeah, I want to sort the etc directory by size. I just append an uppercase S for sorting by size. So now we see we have the smallest file, an empty file, at the last line in output, and if I scroll back a little bit, you'll see the biggest files here. This is the biggest file, are the files that are listed first. Yeah, so ls-ls/etc gives me a list of files sorted by size. And now let's imagine this is a data stream. I don't have any other ways to change this data stream, but I want to reverse the lines. I just could use tag. Yeah, just feed the data that comes from the ls command to the tag command, and now the tag command takes every line and reverses the order of all the lines. So now we see the biggest file at the end of the output here. Yeah, so this is another way to use cat, I would say. Yeah, simply write cat backwards as the tag command. It's really a different command. Yeah, but it is related to the cat command. Okay, this was the cat command. We have some time left, so let's choose a different tool. Let's clear the screen. Oh, what happens? Okay, and now let's generate or choose a tool again. Mixing the tools, and the winner is TCP Dump. Okay, TCP Dump is a tough one. TCP Dump is, you can see it with the name, has something to do with network communications. Yeah, so TCP Dump can be used to monitor, to watch the packets that are flying into your system and that are flying out of your system. Yeah, you use TCP Dump to switch a network interface your system has into the promiscuous mode, and then TCP Dump captures every package it sees. It analyzes the package and it prints out by default the header information for every package. Yeah, header information are, for instance, from which IP to which IP, which protocol, which ports, and so on. Yeah? So let's try TCP Dump here. I am connected via SSH to this demo system. So TCP Dump would print out every SSH connection package to the terminal. I would see a huge amount of output, never stopping. Yeah, but I can use TCP Dump to filter traffic, to filter the packages that should be printed out. Let's say I don't want to see the SSH packages. I simply add a filter that says not port 22. So, and now TCP Dump runs. I don't have any permissions to capture a package, but if I have the permissions, then TCP Dump runs and prints out a header of every package it sees. So let's start TCP dump via sudo to have the proper permissions. And now you'll see there are some packets flying around that are not SSH packages. Yeah. Let's terminate the command. Let's terminate TCP dump here. What you see is that you get IP addresses resolved into names. You see port numbers resolved into names, and typically you don't want to do this. Yeah, you don't want to do this because you are analyzing problems, and if you have additionally any DNS problems or related things, it won't be really good for monitoring. So typically you will call TCP dump this way via or together with the -n command line switch. Yeah, so let's start this again, and now let's run this a little bit. Now Control C for terminating, and what you see are all these packages. You have a package coming from 164.777. This is the IP address. Then this is the port, and this package goes to, this is the IP address of this system itself, yeah, to port 443. This is HTTPS traffic, and this port here, yeah, this port responds to this port with a package again. Yeah, so TCP dump really gives you all the information about the packages that are flying around here. If you need more information, sometimes if you are deeply within the networking thing, yeah, then it can be useful. It can be useful to add these V command line switches, V for verbose. So TCP dump will interpret or will try to interpret what's going on here. Yeah, TCP dump will open the packages, will dig into the protocols, and will print out what it has seen. Yeah, so let's have a look. And now you see some more information. Not really interesting things here because HTTPS is encrypted. Let's do something that's more readable from a different console. Yeah, let's start here, for instance, a simple ping to the 8888 to the public DNS server from Google. Yeah, it works. Let's see these packets, and now let's write the filter the other way around. I want to see only ICMP packages. I want to see only ICMP packages, and you see here, let's terminate this. Yeah, you see you have ICMP echo request packets with a TTL off and an offset off and flag set and so on. Yeah, and you will get an ICMP echo reply. So this is the TCP dump command. The TCP dump command prints out everything it sees. By default only the headers, but some information about the content of the packets to the terminal. Typically you aren't, or I think you aren't this deep within the networking stack, then it would be better to use some graphical tool to analyze packets if you have to. And these graphical tools are, for instance, or one of these graphical tools is Wireshark. I think you have heard it, Wireshark perhaps. Yeah. And if you are on a system, and on the system you wanna examine the network traffic, but you don't have any graphical user interface here to run Wireshark, a graphical tool, you can use TCP dump to write the packets it sees into a file. TCP dump won't print this information into a file. TCP dump will print the real raw binary data it sees into a file. Yeah, so I could take a file traffic.log. Yeah, TCP dump writes everything it sees binary into traffic log, and I can use this file then later on to analyze it with Wireshark. Yeah, so copy it to your desktop system, perhaps a Windows desktop system via WinSCP, for instance, and then load it into Wireshark. Yeah, if you use TCP dump this way, small tip: TCP dump doesn't read the whole package typically. Instead, TCP dump reads only the first X bytes that are needed for interpreting all possible headers. To say TCP dump to capture the complete traffic to later analyze it on a Wireshark, for instance, then use the -s command line switch together with the number of bytes you want to capture from each package. And typically, you are on a network with an MTU set to 1500 bytes. So it is best to capture the whole packets with -s 1500. If unsure, have a look at the output of IPA. Yeah. IPA gives you for your network interface somewhere an MTU. Here we have an MTU of 9001 bytes. This system uses jumbo frames. So if I want to catch everything here or capture everything here into a file, I would use this MTU 9001 and write everything to a file. Hit enter. TCP dump does its work. Then if I have captured enough, I just hit Control C, and now I have the traffic log file here, and the traffic log file now can be transferred to another system, to a different system where you have Wireshark installed. Okay, these are the tools for today. Yeah, we have had the cat command, we have had the tag command, and we have had here the TCP dump command. If you are interested in more such tools, yeah, have a look at the Shell Toolbox, shelltoolbox.com. Have a look at the Shell Toolbox. You can get it for free plus shipping, for $5.60. And this ebook contains all the tools you need for your day-to-day work at a Linux command line. Everything comes with explanations and example calls for illustrations. Yeah, if you are interested, have a look at shelltoolbox.com. If not, no problem. See you next time. See you within the next video.